A strategic business alliance between Dukia Gold Nigeria and Filora Global Trading Switzerland has been formed. Both companies have taken up the opportunity created by the federal government of Nigeria and other institutions like the Lagos Commodities and Futures Exchange to present an open marketplace to trade and invest in gold assets in line with international standards, regulations, and best practices. Joining us to discuss the investment case for gold is Mr. Tunde Fagbemi, who's the chairman of Dukia Gold and Precious Metals Refining Company Limited. You're very welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. I wanted to ask you about the investment case for gold. I want to just pull up some charts here. This is looking at, I guess, the one-day price of gold there, which it's a bit down, I think, about as of 4 a.m. This morning on the Commodities Exchange in New York. That's one day. Then 30-day, I think the 30-day, it's down by about 6% over the last 30 days. And then 1 year, down about 2.9% over the last year. And then, but for 5 years, this is interesting, 44%. If you invested in gold over the last 5 years, you're up 44%. So what's the investment case for gold, sir?
The investment case for gold is quite clear and is very, very compelling for the Nigerian. And I'm happy that you've shown two things. Gold does react to inflation. It reacts to political news. It also reacts to the currencies across the world. Therefore, gold has always been there since what I call modern trading. It's recorded in virtually every holy book, Bible, Quran, is used largely by anyone who actually has a little ornament or whatever. Most of us also wear it around ourselves. So we invest in it as individuals. We buy wristwatches, we buy bangles, chain, and everything. It's a store of value. It's always been a store of value. Even if you want to get married, they compel you to buy a little ring, or actually some actually say bring a big tray of gold to be able to make things work. So there is a compelling story for gold individually. But there is a more compelling story for gold as an asset, as an investment class. And I'll give you a very quick one. If you had invested in gold, say in Nigeria in 1968, just pick a good case where Nigeria was booming, and you took an average 28,000 naira and you put it in gold on that day. If you were to value it today, given the many things that happened, you'll probably be earning in excess of, say, 680,000 Nigerian naira. That's the kind of return you have. And I will tell you a much more interesting one. If as at the beginning of this year or 2 years ago, when the naira was exchanging at maybe 300, 400 to 1, and you had gone ahead to buy $1 worth of gold, and you had kept it in your portfolio, if today you sold that same $1 of gold, and you came back, you'll probably be earning in excess of 600 naira for $1, as it were. So in terms of complementing your asset to be able to hedge against inflation, complementing your asset in order to be able to make things work in a manner that is consistent with a portfolio mix, it's best that you, yes, continue to invest in paper money occasionally, but you must allocate at least a sizable portion of your portfolio into precious metals, preferably gold, because one thing is certain, or consistently over the period, you've seen it, it will return at an average of excess of 40% in some instances, averagely between 28 and 40%. So if you then compare it to return on investment of even the best performing stock index at 24, gold would outperform the stock index. So if you ask me, where is the smart money supposed to be chasing for investment? Is gold. Rather than build houses, I tell you, it's cheaper for you. Invest your money in gold. You don't have a tenant to chase. You don't have a maintenance to put. And the most important one that I also need to mention is this. If you invest in gold and you compare it to stocks, a share price of a stock can go as high as it can go. And if it's properly managed, fantastic. If that company is poorly managed, that same share price that you are looking at up can very easily go to zero. Those companies can go into receivership. I've never seen a man who put $1,000 in gold and come back and say he has nothing left. If there is a theft, if you insure it, you will collect your 1,000 back. But more important is the gold is secured in a proper vault. You are sure that 1,000 will continue to appreciate and continue to retain value at all times. So just to cut it long, a story short, we would recommend that a sizable portion of your portfolio long term should be kept in gold. That's
fantastic. All right. Well, you preempted my next question because I was going to say you're not saying ignore stocks, bonds, treasury bills, and so on. You're saying allocate a portion of the portfolio to gold.
Yeah, and that portion that I've recommended is based on two facts. First is this: everyone has what they call a need for precautionary investment. You also have a transactionary motive. The nearest investment, in my opinion, that you can have after cash is gold. Even if you go to the central bank's guideline, cash is first, foreign currency maybe is next. You understand? After that, you must always have gold as number 3. Under the International Monetary Guidelines also, Basel III, they put cash first. The next thing for every bank to own is gold. Basically because the easiest thing to change in terms of fungibility is if you have cash, you can change it. But it's always obvious that if you don't have cash and you have gold, it's easier to be able to convert it. The price is known, like you said, check the price at 4 a.m., you know, check the price at 3 a.m., you know, check the price at 5 a.m., 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Yeah. The price of gold is known internationally. So gold is as near cash as possible. And therefore, if you are smart and you have a plan for your future and you plan to live a full life, save a bit of your money in cash, but put a lot of that money in gold. You will not have any regrets.
Okay. Thanks. Good portfolio allocation 101 there. So your collaboration with Filoro, what's to come out of that?
Oh, great. So we own and work with a company called Dukia Gold. Dukia Gold is a refinery and a full-service bullion merchant. What that means is that we basically source local gold, raw materials on a streaming contract basis. We're working largely with a lot of small-scale junior mining companies across Nigeria and the rest of West Africa. But in order to complement the sourcing program for the raw material and eventually put it through the refinery and bring out what I call LBMA, good delivery bars, which are investment-grade bars, we found a need to further complement our sourcing program. And in doing that, there is no better person in gold than the Swiss. Even a wristwatch that you carry is better if it's a gold wristwatch made by a Swiss company. Okay. If you're also trying to buy a gold bar, it's always very handy if you say your Swiss gold bar is what's in your hand. So we've worked on a collaborative basis to be able to find a way of ensuring that our customers in Nigeria who desire and deserve to have the very best gold bullion bars in their investment portfolio are afforded the opportunity to be able to invest in gold of the highest premium at the best price and to be able to also store it in the safest place in the world, as it were. So we signed a working together agreement with Filoro. It's a fairly large investment program. The program first commences with ability to trade and supply gold for investment to, for instance, pension funds, banks, high net worth individuals, even people who want to get married and want to say, I'm saving towards my wedding.
I'm in that group. I'm in that WhatsApp group.
So we will recommend to you to buy maybe 1 gram of gold every month, maybe for 10, 20 months prior to your wedding. It will break the cost of the wedding because you spread it out over time. And because you buy that, you can then come back to us and say, I have 10 grams of gold, I want to convert it into a ring, or I have 10 grams of gold, I want to convert it to a cross, I will have 10 grams, or you just want to keep it and whatever. If someone is giving you a naming ceremony, God will be kind to you, your child, rather than bring cash, they can bring a coin or a silver coin, a gold coin, and say, we gift your child 1 ounce of gold. First, you are not bound to change it and sell it. You understand? We think you'll be able to keep it as part of your family loom. When that child grows up and 40, 50 years time, she looks in a little whatever and brings it out. Maybe she has 20 ounces of gold to her name, and she's maybe bought a few over her life. She'll be able to add to it and have whatever. So we are working with Filoro to be able to satisfy both the local demand and the international requirements of being able to make things work. In addition to that, we're also jointly investing in what I call a streaming project. This streaming project says to us, someone has a mine site, he does not know what to do with it because he's not able to finance it. He requires finance. We therefore would provide what I call necessary finance after due diligence, so that that person can supply gold to us as part of his own whatever. So it's like a farming project where I give you seed, you plant as a farmer. When you finish harvesting, you give me what has been harvested, and then we grow together. This way, Nigerian mining industry basically will change, and hopefully we'll be able to see greater and better productivity on a much more sustained, transparent and ethical way of producing gold. I'm
glad you mentioned the Nigerian mining industry, because the word to use for it is potential, but it's been struggling. I don't know if we have the figures up there. Yeah. The outputs, and as far as so Q4 contraction of 6.6, 2021 growth a contraction of. How do you grow the mining sector? How do you get out of these struggling numbers?
Quagmire, yeah. First, we must commend the federal government. We must also commend most especially the current Honorable Minister. He's an architect, so he's taking a very planned approach to growing the industry, very good professional. He's understood it. He's basically implementing a roadmap. So what is he doing? He's doing 4 things which I would say is commendable. First is there is a need for Nigeria to actually know what we have. It's a very capital-intensive thing to do. It's called carrying out an exploration geology, whatever. So you need to do aeromagnetics, you need to fly aircrafts, you need to do a lot of ground truthing, and you need to say, truly, this is the geology of this place, this is what it's said or may said to be contained. The federal government has invested a huge amount of that into that, and I'm happy to say that the Honourable Minister has been very diligent in following it out. So for the very first time, those of us who are in the industry can truly say, does Nigeria have gold? Yes. Where is the gold? We know where it is now. Now the second challenge is, can we attract the necessary capital to be able to bring it out of the ground using much more modern ways? The current way that gold is being attacked or precious metals being attacked in Nigeria is good for mass employment, artisanal, but is not necessarily the most beneficial for the environment. It's also not the safest. There ought to be safety boots, proper gears for anyone doing mining. Those artisanal miners are not able to afford it. But if the right quantity of metal is found, then a proper mining company can come into it, and then there'll be a proper ethical way of mining. And that's what the minister is promoting. Exactly, that's what Dukia is also about with Filoro. And what we are doing is that because we are bringing in serious capital into the industry, most of what you see today will change materially. We have others who have complemented our efforts before us, and we are only coming in to add more value. We believe that the story for mining would change in Nigeria. So would also be the story of the safety practices in mining and the ethical way of getting mines sorted out of Nigeria. It's long drawn, but a lot of work, yes, what is called infrastructure on the ground. But I think now we can begin to see the superstructure. You begin to see a lot of good activities. Dukia Gold will definitely be in your name and in the forefront of the market in many ways. We'll be able to say to you, this is a finished product. You have it in your hand as a ring. You have it in your bank as an investment. You have it in a vault as your so-called retirement benefit. Let your pension fund also buy some for you so that you can be sure that even if the Naira were to go this way, the validity of the price for your product will stay up and you'll be able to enjoy a good retirement. So gold, precious metals mining in Nigeria will begin to change, because I think the minister says it better than I do. He says Nigerian beyond oil. The future, of course, is precious metals and mining.
Mr. Tunde Fagbemi, Chair of Dukia Gold, thank you so much for talking to us about precious metals. Very bullish outlook. We hope that things work out for the sector. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
your
It's a
time.
big pleasure.